Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you all so much once again for tuning in. I am Josh Samuel, the author of the title Do Not Get Triggered. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope that everyone listening and everyone in general is staying safe in these very troubling times. And I will not proceed any further without first saying rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. My deepest condolences to his family. Just a very unexpected tragedy, but I hope sincerely that the example he set for us all off screen, beyond Black Panther, beyond Thurgood Marshall, beyond Jackie Robinson, and beyond the other roles he portrayed so expertly, I hope that his example not only means something to each and every one of us, but also is something that we can all follow and live by. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the New Mutants. Now, this movie has been called many things. Cursed is a very popular term that has been thrown its direction since the first delay occurred. Josh Boone, the director, even said that weird things were happening on the set of the movie. And given the type of movie that it is, and given the type of tone he chose to tackle with the New Mutants, I'm not at all surprised. And given where the movie was filmed and some things that were revealed about the location, I'm terribly not surprised. The movie focuses on 5 teens: Danny Moonstar, Roberto Da Costa, Sam Guthrie, Rain Sinclair, and Illyana Rasputin. And basically they're being held in this facility by this mysterious Dr. Reyes, played by Alice Braga. And once Danny arrives to the facility, it's clear that some things are not what they appear to be. And I'll start by saying that the acting in the movie, all the way through and through, the actors and actresses all did exceptionally well. The standout is obviously Anya Taylor-Joy. Macy Williams also did really well as Rain, and Blue Hunt also did really well as Danielle. Charlie Heaton and Henry Zaga, for the time that they were in the movie, they also did really well in their respective roles as Sam Guthrie and Roberto Da Costa. And I just wish that they had a little bit more screen time in the movie. But with that being said, it's a 90-minute movie, and obviously there's only so much you can do with a 90-minute movie. But the big standout is obviously Anya Taylor-Joy, Macy Williams, and Blue Hunt, who plays Danny Moonstar. And the story is relatively simple to follow. It's pretty self-explanatory. Josh Boone, who also wrote the film, really wanted to pay homage to some of the things he saw growing up in the 80s, like John Hughes movies, for example. And you do get elements of The Breakfast Club in the movie and things of that nature. And the horror element is there. And to my surprise, in saying this, to Fox's credit, I wish they had went ahead with the reshoots when they had the opportunity, but we got so many conflicting reports, and now there's so many other things that are just now being revealed as the movie is coming out, that it's kind of like it's a tug of war of who we should be really blaming. And then, of course, with, the casting of Henry Zaga and Alice Braga, there's the whole, why isn't Roberto and Dr. Reyes dark skinned? And I'm like, they are, to their credit, they are Brazilian. To everyone who is disappointed's credit, I totally get it. Representation is important, and it would have been nice to have seen a person of a darker complexion in the movie. I'm not gonna lie to you, and it is a focal point of Roberto's story in the New Mutants, in the early New Mutants, like the first couple of issues that came out back in the 80s. It is sort of a point, and looking at his father in those comics, you can tell that he's what you would consider a Brazilian of a darker complexion. Having said that, Roberto has also been drawn and colored in different other shades as well. So to this whole controversy surrounding that, I'm not gonna pick a side. I have my opinions about it. Josh Boone said what he said, and voila, now he's off Instagram. Going back to the movie, the effects were also pretty okay-ish. Some effects were better than other, like the limbo sequences were really cool. The demon bear also looked really good, and beyond that, you could tell that they didn't spend a whole lot on this movie. And Josh Boone also said that he tried to go more practical as opposed to dialing it up with the CGI, which is something I can respect. And it shows in certain scenes where there's not a whole lot of CGI, but you still get the effect they're going for. They're kind of laying more emphasis on the horror as opposed to just trying to make it look all, real and what, special effecty. Special effecty. So in terms of it being an X-Men movie, yes, despite what the reports say and despite what Josh Boone said, there are some surprising ties to the Fox universe. I was really surprised in one sequence that was shown that was in what many call their favorite X-Men movie, including myself, was also sort of included in this one. So that was really nice to see. Again, Anya Taylor-Joy. I'm not just being a fanboy. I'm not just being a fanboy. She was excellent. Aside from the race jokes that were written in the script, I don't know. I really like to ask Josh Boone why he decided to leave that in the movie. Aside from that, she was perfect as Illyana. Reading the comics that I've read of the New Mutants, she's not only does she look like her, but she also sort of pretty much embodies Illyana the same way Ryan Reynolds does Deadpool, the same way Henry Cavill does Superman, and the same way that Hugh Jackman is seen to many as Wolverine. She really just embodies the role. A lot of people are wondering, is she going to be brought into the MCU? Honestly, I don't know, and I doubt. Aside from Deadpool, which is also up in the air at this point, nobody really knows. Nobody truly knows. There's a lot of ways they could do it, such as the new Doctor Strange film that's coming out. But honestly, nobody knows, and I doubt it. I highly doubt it. With the controversy and everything, and Disney being this sort of, everybody knows the kind of corporation Disney is, so I doubt it. I have my own opinion about how they should do the X-Men and all of that in Disney, so I'm not going to get into it here. I really like that Josh Boone tackled, LGBT, with the whole love story with Rain and Danny. And it's not clear early on, but the movie makes it a point to make you, the viewer, realize that it's being told strictly from Danny's perspective. And once you realize that, it kind of adds to the movie. And it kind of helps the movie, in my opinion, because the movie can be all over the place, so to speak. One minute, it is tackling the scary parts of it, and then it's going back to being this sort of mystery, and then another minute it's going back to being this sort of movie about their powers. And the third act of the film, sort of similar to Rogue One, which I have kind of grown on as of late. The third act of the movie, to me, is the best part of the New Mutants as a movie, and it's also the part that says a lot about the movie. But with that said, I just wish they had let Josh Boone made this either a series or made this the exact way he wanted it, and made it sort of just let him go loose on it, because it's still, watching it, you can tell that he had to take some things out that he probably didn't want to, and he probably also had to take some things out due to the whole shenanigans at Fox that we are kind of only just now knowing about. So it's tough to say. It's really tough to say. With that all said, like I said, Anya Taylor-Joy, Maisie Williams, Blue Hunt, really everybody in general was fantastic, but those were the standouts. The Demon Bear is fine. The only thing I'd also count as a negative is the action is kind of hit or miss. Some of the sequences are really, really fucking cool, and watching them at home, would probably be best at this point. But having seen it in theaters, I'm comfortable saying that the New Mutants, for me right now, based on the first viewing, is a 7.5 right now. It's not the worst X-Men movie, despite what you may have heard. I know publications are trying to convince you it's just the worst X-Men movie out there, just like they did with Dark Phoenix. No, there's tons of other comic book movies that are worse. There are tons of other Marvel, DC, and other superhero movies that are far worse. The New Mutants is really good in some parts, but it's just, it feels kind of, it feels just okayish. It's just really okay for me as a viewer based off this first viewing, and that's why if I had to rank it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it like a 7 or a 7.5. Now, going into a second viewing, that probably it might change. Given the hype I had for it, I'm surprised that I'm surprised I'm giving it such what I consider a low rating. But yeah, it's about a 7 or a 7.5. Not the worst comic book movie and not the worst X-Men movie like you've all heard, but there's some things I wish that had been done differently. And the race jokes, Josh Boone, bro, what were you thinking? Dog? With that all said, shout out to the New Mutants updates on Twitter. This person remains nameless, but we've had conversations pretty much since last year on Twitter. This person filled me in on some stuff that I cannot reveal here due to not only would he get in trouble, but I would also get in trouble as well. It's literally that deep. But again, shout out to him for being shout out to this person for being the upstanding person that they are, for keeping the fans of the movie hyped from pretty much the start of the delays until it finally now releasing. And just thank you for always being there for us, and keeping people informed, and clarifying things when they need to be clarified. We're in your debt, and I know we've had our discussions about the movie, and hopefully everything will work itself out. But just thank you for everything that you did. And yeah, the New Mutants, ladies and gentlemen, is for me a 7 or a 7.5 based off of first viewing. Wifey killed it as I expected. But I just wish she hadn't spewed those race jokes in terms of Danny. And yeah, that's all I will say about the movie for now. You guys leave a comment down below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, do not get triggered, because it's just an opinion, bro. Peace, love, and we'll see you next time.